Just a quick disclaimer before we begin. When we covered 1985 Super Mario Bros., that was actually the second video we recorded. The first video we made was more of a test to see if this new format would work, or rather that we would be able to pull it off. This was recorded way back in March of this year, and instead of starting with Super Mario, I skipped ahead to the year 2000 for the release of The Sims, since I felt that would be an easy subject to cover given our family's extensive history with this game. We were still working out the kinks in our setup, but this first attempt would greatly help us in improving the quality of future videos, especially when sound was concerned, since Chanel and I had to share one mic due to technical problems. Regardless, I hope you enjoy the video. So today we're going to talk about The Sims that was released in the year 2000. And I have here Chanel, my sister, with me.
Hi.
And I have Camilla, my other sister, with me.
Hi.
So the three of us, we grew up on The Sims. We actually played it all the way back in the year 2000. Fun fact, that was 25 years ago.
Oh no. I'm so old now.
Yeah. Also feel old.
Jeez. So long ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
quarter of a century.
A quarter of a century.
Oh no, don't put it that way. I feel like I need to go to a geriatric ward.
Yeah. But I came to the realization when I'm about to turn 40, and that's why I'm doing this series of videos with each year we'd have like the best or most interesting game released that year, and I felt The Sims was the most appropriate since all of us have spent many hours on that game.
Oh, absolutely. I fully agree with you. It was like one of my all-time favorite games, and it's still to this day. I still love to play it.
Yeah, me too.
Probably
Yeah,
Sims, the later Sims versions, but actually I have played like The Sims 1 even today.
Yeah, and I played it recently just to record it, but it was still a fun game to play. And I realized, well, I have to stop recording eventually so that I can actually get back to work. But yeah, so developer and co-founder of Maxis, Will Wright, saw success in the Sims series of games such as Sim Park, Simcopter, a game which is as fun to play as it is ugly to look at.
Oh, yes, it is.
Did he also do SimCity?
And of course, SimCity.
I'm sorry. I flippin' loved SimCity.
Yeah.
I was addicted to that, and I was like, oh, I better get back to my homework.
I would always lose because I didn't know how to manage finances and how to be a mayor. So, yeah, eventually my town would go bankrupt. Yeah.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened to me. Like, I made a city that was running really well, and then I added another like neighborhood, and for some reason it just caused the economy to slowly collapse over the next few decades. So that's what Maxis was known for. The SimCity was definitely their most successful. Our story begins all the way back in 1993. So 7 years before the release of The Sims. So this is Will Wright in an interview from rockpapershotgun.com.
I love that name.
And so you can just read the quotation between the quotation marks there.
Okay, it was 1993 and I'd just finished some ants. In the game, we simulate an ant colony fairly realistically, but the game had a backyard with someone walking around who could step on the ants or attack them. But he was programmed in more traditional procedural programming, and when I finished the game, I realized that the ants were smarter than the guy was, because they had a more robust intelligence and able to react to more circumstances. I began wondering whether there was a way we could simulate human behavior in a more distributed sense in the way the ants do, more hard and robust.
Okay, so he got the idea for The Sims.
I didn't know there was a Sim.
There's a Sim everything. There's Sim Park, Sim Safari, Sim all of that stuff.
I like the theme park.
So I believe Theme Park, even though it's from Electronic Arts that also released The Sims, that was a different company that made Theme Park. I also thought that Maxis made that, but apparently not. I just did my research recently, and I was like, oh, it was not Maxis. It was a completely different company. So shortly after, Will and his team would put together a prototype. At the time, the game was referred to as Dollhouse. So
Wow. Okay, that could put off a lot of like boys.
Yes, we're going to get to that soon. So now Will Wright had people test out the game, and did they like it? Was this the beginning of a promising project? Wright continues.
The game almost died at birth. We had a focus group back in 1993, and it tested very badly. No one liked it at all, and was the worst idea out of the 4 we presented that night. It was a battle the first few years. Inside Maxis, it was referred to as the toilet game. It was the game where you clean the toilet. We had a product review meeting at Maxis where we had to decide whether we publish this thing or not. And the executive said, no, let's not do that. I can't remember cleaning the toilet. Yes, you had to clean the toilet.
You did, yeah. Can you imagine walking into a store and finding a box there for the toilet game, you know?
Hey, listen, don't say something about toilet game. There's a Skibbity Boy, whatever.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Oh, we all hate it.
I've said to my kids, you are not allowed.
So the game was essentially cancelled. And Will moved on to work on SimCity 2000, the sequel to the first SimCity, and didn't return on the project only until 1996 when he secretly assigned, I believe it was Jamie Jamie Dorbos or Dorbos, I don't know how to pronounce his name. It literally is spelled Doornbos. It starts off with Dor.
Dwen Boss.
I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, he assigned someone, and I think it might have been him. It is very difficult to find the name of the person who worked on this. So he made some tools that weren't being used by Maxis at the time, and was in danger of being fired simply because they didn't know what to do with him. These tools, however, would evolve into the backbone of the game. But the system started to work, and the game became more engaging and went into full development with a full team. And so interesting thing is that the game ran on a noun and verb system. So TV or shower would be the noun following a verb. So as in turn on TV, turn off TV, use shower, clean shower, and so on. So with each action attached to an animation and adding or removing the character stats like hunger, comfort, or hygiene. This made it easy to add new objects and features later in development or even after the game's initial release. A year's worth of work to future-proof the game that could have released earlier, but they felt that it was worth it. So interesting, huh?
So how did they eventually start work on it again? You know, how were they convinced that they should continue work on the game?
So that secret developer that Will Wright hired, he got him to work on the mechanics, to refine the mechanics so that it was actually fun to play.
Yes, okay, I see,
Yeah. So this elegant system needed to run on what kind of game engine? So generally games use a specific base program to make the graphics, sound controls, and gameplay possible. So Camilla, I've just sent you the email. This is a quote from Patrick J. Barrett III, one of the programmers.
Wow, the third.
I know, I was just thinking that's fancy schmancy.
Very. Okay, so he says The Sims has many engines. There's the graphic system, the animation system, the sound system, the utilities, such as Create a Sim, Neighborhood, Creative Family, etc., and the main game shell itself, which acts as the operating system. All the objects and the Sims themselves are written in the proprietary Simantics language, which is run by the game shell. Each object having its own simulation, which runs simultaneously, as well as the interactions with the Sims.
So basically, these systems were so complex that they required their own engine each
Sure.
that were all unified by running in an environment that was as complicated as an operating system.
Jeez.
Yeah, that is impressive.
That's thinking out of the box.
You take
That
it
was-
for granted.
Is that like the first time that they've done this kind of thing?
For Maxis, I think so.
Because that's, yeah.
Which explains why they delayed development, because I don't think a computer from the early 90s could have handled something like that.
Yeah.
So really sophisticated stuff, even for today's standards. And it really shows, because even on a more modern PC, I still experience many frame drops or hitches on my modern machine. Exactly how it did on the Pentium 3. So it's like performance doesn't really improve the faster your computer is.
Interesting, yeah.
So it's kind of like Minecraft Java Edition, because, you know, we always complained that the performance was always so iffy,
Yeah, I
just because of the
remember-
nature of the code.
When we bought the Hot Date expansion pack for Sims, and how our computer struggled.
It just struggled.
Yeah.
Like jumping from neighborhood to the plaza was like quite the process.
yeah,
man.
with crash.
You had enough time to go and get something to eat and use the bathroom and come back.
Yeah. Another quote from Will.
There is a game where the players built the environments, so there's a huge variety of situations. It's really easy to design when you know there's going to be a guy walking down a corridor with a gun and you've got to hide from him, and that's about it. You can design AIs that are very specific in certain circumstances. Designing a generalized AI which can figure out if it's sitting on the couch, watching the TV, or locked in the bathroom, or kissing his girlfriend, the wide variety of situations these characters had to encounter was the biggest challenge technically.
Yeah, it was so funny though, because you get such random characters, just knocking on your door.
Yeah, remember we
Stuff.
and we just like, the ones that we didn't like the look of, we were rude to them so they would just go away. Remember?
I would just ignore them, but you literally would just go out and say,
Yeah, we
go
said,
away.
be rude.
Be rude.
Or
Yell at them.
if they came into your house because you greeted them at your door, right?
Oh, I hated it.
Just help themselves to food in your kitchen sometimes, or
Yeah,
they
they would just start cooking.
yes, or they would just hop into the jacuzzi or change into their costume. It's
Yeah, and I was also getting annoyed at them until I eventually realized you have to say goodbye to them.
oh yes.
Go away.
Footsack, you know?
Or they would fall asleep. I've had guests. I think I've had guests fall asleep at my house, or they
Oh,
say,
yeah, they sleep at your bed.
"It's getting late now. Time to go." And up pops the box that says, "I gotta go," and I was like, "Oh, okay, great."
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So this leads into our next, or arguably best part of The Sims, building and decorating a house.
Oh,
That was my favorite part.
I think that's still the best part of the game.
Yeah.
So Will was inspired by the Austrian architect Christopher Alexander, that put emphasis on how the design of the environment influenced the actions or habits of the dweller. The Sims would tap into this philosophy of how challenging the game becomes is determined by how well the player designs the house. So like if you place the bathroom upstairs far away from the kitchen, which is downstairs on the other side of the house, the Sims would waste much of his or her time doing a lot of walking instead of performing tasks and being efficient.
I've never actually thought of that.
And so if you find the game difficult, that means you really suck at building houses.
No, listen. Like, we had that cheat code that gave us unlimited
The
money.
infinite. Do you remember the cheat code?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, it's called it's Kleporkius, and you
Oh.
got to do exclamation mark, semicolon, exclamation mark.
Oh yes, every exclamation and colon mark would be like a certain
Like
amount of
1,000.
money, and we just went.
Yes, I would just copy and paste eventually, and
Yeah,
Yes.
eventually we figured out you can copy and paste, so we didn't have to. But I got that rhythm so
Yes, I
down.
remember.
yeah, it was almost fun. or actually, with the other expansions, with Hot Date, then the cheat code changed to Rosebud, with
That's right. Yeah,
semicolon, exclamation, semicolon.
exactly.
Yeah.
And which was so much better than Kleporkius or Kleporkius or however you're
yeah,
supposed to
however you want to
pronounce it.
We always just said Kleporkius.
Kleporkius. So you touched on this, Shani.
What did I touch?
Teenage Boys.
I know Camilla did, yeah.
Oh, it was Camilla.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cammy. Teenage Boys didn't like the game, so the name was changed from Dollhouse to The Sims.
Oh, thank goodness.
And which is a totally natural evolution of all of their previous games. What does SimCity have in it? Sims.
Yeah.
You know?
It makes so much sense now. Yeah.
The Sims was released in February of 2000. It would get many expansions: Living Large, House Party, Hot Date. Then there was Sims Vacation, Sims Unleashed, Superstar, and Making Magic.
We got Unleashed as well, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, we got
the-
Unleashed, and then I borrowed the
Vacation.
Vacation.
Yeah.
We had Living Large. We had
Yeah.
Sims Deluxe as well with the Sims Creator. And
Have you ever used the Sims Creator?
yeah. I made
Okay.
them clothes, and
Oh, that's
I
cool.
made
Wallpaper.
wallpaper or textured tiles and stuff that you
Oh,
can
that's awesome.
Like,
add.
I've tried to play Sims. You know, my kids have the Sims on the Xbox. I think, what is it?
Sims 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like using, you know, I'm used to using a keyboard, right?
Yeah,
It's not as easy to create a house or
yeah.
to just, I mean, it's cool when you're creating a person that you can go and do like even the eyebrows and like adjust the eyeballs and everything. It's like intense.
Like Sims
Yeah.
3 was like mind blowing to me when that first came out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
like
super
the-
cool, but like it frustrates me to try and build a house. I don't know, maybe we're just so good at it, but it was like really easy to use.
I think it actually is easier to use on the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, I
Because
agree. I must
Because,
that.
like we mentioned earlier, it's like an operating system. You have all these buttons that you click, and you know all these stats and
Yeah,
things you
shift
check.
or was
Shift
it
to fill in.
yes,
yeah.
or like control was to make the you know when you build like a
to
whole
build a big
room,
to build a
square
big
room.
rectangle.
Yeah,
And
things like that.
yeah, exactly. And I just prefer using the mouse and keyboard, not just for The Sims, with lots of games. Now, we did touch on this. After they would release some expansions, there were many compilation releases of The Sims, such as The Sims Deluxe Edition, which Cammy has mentioned. The version I used to record the footage is from The Sims Complete Collection, which is also the latest release of The Sims 1.
Are you serious?
More on that later. You'll see where I go with this.
So you could hear the excitement in Camilla's voice.
Yeah.
Like, why do I not know this?
Yes. I
I
don't know.
need this in my life.
Yes.
The first Sims game has sold more than 11 million copies for PC, with console releases selling an additional 3.5 million.
Wow. Well,
Toilet
I mean,
game to
good game.
success.
so, they
It's a
des-
good game. Yeah, exactly.
They deserve it.
So Will Wright would later work on Spore, that would end up being in development hell until it finally released in 2008 with mediocre sales and reception.
No.
Will would leave Maxis in the following year. Maxis would go on to produce the poorly received spin-off Darkspore in 2011. Later, Maxis would release the fifth installment in the SimCity franchise, which had the infamous always online requirement that was plagued with many bugs and loss of connection that would cause the game to fail while trying to boot, as well as having notably less or worse features than the previous SimCities. This resulted in, quote, one of the most disastrous launches in history.
No.
Many people feel that Sims 4 doesn't shine as bright as The Sims 3 or even The Sims 2. And even The Sims 1, which is technically inferior to every game that came after, a lot of people still think very fondly of The Sims 1.
I think it's a lot of nostalgia as well with
Yeah.
Sims 1.
But there's a charm to it that I think is there that is not in the later stuff.
Yes, yes. And if I may mention the music in Sims 1,
Yes.
I love it so much. And the piano music or the orchestral music when you buy furniture or when you're making the house, you're building the house. And I've actually downloaded the sheet music and I love to play it on the piano.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I love
So
it.
good.
Oh,
And you don't get sick of it.
No, you don't.
Right.
One thing that I really finally realized only a few years ago. I was watching an episode of Ren and Stimpy, and they had that sort of like 1950s American Dream music, which is, you know, that you know, that sort of like. Like 1950s commercialism.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Well, that was The Sims. That was when you buy furniture, that's the style of the music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of very like tongue-in-cheek, like satire almost, you know?
Yeah.
I do like it. So I would always have one house that was like my dream house. I would have another house where I would like try and work for the money and try to build gradually.
I did exactly the same.
And then like my best friend and I, we'd create a house that was just havoc. Like,
Just the weirdest architecture ever, and
oh, and then we'd create the ugliest people. Remember when we put them in the pool and we took the steps away and then they would drown?
I'm sorry, that was very sadistic.
I know, but then we have a ghost and then we had a graveyard, remember?
our friend from back in the day, she was like, oh, I would like to have a cemetery next to my house. How do we get cemeteries? Because I've seen them before. And it's like, oh, you have to kill the Sims. So that's what she would
went on
do.
a rampage.
Just went and killing Sims. Yeah, I got tombstones.
She was laughing through the whole thing.
That is the dark side of Sims. Obviously, there are good things you should do, and there are bad things that teach you bad things.
Remember when you create like a love triangle, and then they would start fighting for your affections.
So, one of my favorite things about Sims is you said, you know, making your dream house, but as a kid, you always want all these cool things at your house. Yeah. So then I could do that. Well, when we put in the cheat code, we could have the big screen TV.
You can have the grand piano.
Yes. You can have the nice playground, or you could make your own home cinema. So it was just so fun to see what it feels like to have all the things that you want.
And to see, does stuff make me feel happy?
Yeah.
But also acting out relationships, it was fun. I remember I would create two houses, a girl and a guy, and then I would try to make them fall in love, and then they would get married, and then the one would move into the other. But remember when they would have a kid?
Yes.
And then you're like, oh, please don't let this kid come out ugly, because you have no choice. You
don't have a choice what the kid looks like.
I remember if the kid looked ugly, I wouldn't save the game. I'd go out and go back in
and try again
until I had a good-looking kid. Because you have no control.
Yeah.
Yes. I did the same. But isn't that like life, hey? You know, you have kids, don't know.
You don't know what they're going to be like, but you have to deal with them. You can't restart.
I can't remember. Could you choose if it was a girl or boy, or was it just like them?
No, it just happened randomly, I think.
Okay.
Especially like in the Sims 2, Sims 3, where they have unique facial features, as opposed to Sims 1, where they really basic little models. It is a raffle, definitely a raffle. But... So due to the recent drop of success in the Sim franchise, Maxis's parent company, the now evil EA Games, killer of beloved game companies like Bullfrog Productions, who are known for the theme park games. So they're the ones that made the theme park games. Westwood Studios, who created The Lion King for the Mega Drive, PC, and Super Nintendo, and also creators of Command & Conquer, and Visceral Games, who made Battlefield and Dead Space, Pandemic Studios, the creators of the legendary Star Wars Battlefront games, and countless others, with Maxis as one of their later victims. They started closure in 2014, resulting in many layoffs of their employees, with the rest being sent off to make mobile games for EA. So it's
sad ending.
A branch of EA still retains the Maxis brand, but only as a department responsible for maintaining the Sims product line. Many have said that the name may still remain, but the company as it once was is dead. So yeah, The Sims 1, along with Sims 2, was released this year in January 2025 as the Sims Legacy Collection. But although it fixes some compatibility issues that players experienced running the original game on modern PCs, it however created new bugs unique to this version at launch, reminding us fans of how little EA cares about the quality of their games. Leading up to the re-release, the original versions were removed from online stores, making it officially abandonware for a season, before the re-releases, of course. During this time, The Sims, including the latest compilation that comes with everything called the Complete Collection, was being distributed through several abandonware websites during this period, which is how I got a copy. It actually is pretty stable as long as you don't alt-tab out of the game. But I would still not call this piracy in principle. It'd been abandonware up until recently, but even then, you guys remember this, we have purchased the game 3 times over, the original vanilla game without any expansions, the Sims Collector's Edition, and the aforementioned Deluxe Edition, along with many of the standalone expansions such as Unleashed and my favorite, Hot Date, where you get to build a plaza and restaurants and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I love that.
I also liked Vacation, where you could make the hotel rooms and stuff. That was also really cool.
I loved seeing the Sims go on the skate park. Some of them are really good at skating, even though they've never done it before.
Yes, I do remember that. And also Unleashed, where you could buy pets.
Oh, I love that.
Customize your pet and which one you like. So that was also I loved.
Yeah, I noticed that in the Complete Collection, pets would just visit you, so you don't even need to own a pet. You can just play and socialize with the pet, and then they can just go away.
No, it's nice to own the pet and take the pet to the vet or like
looking after real pets. It's like a lot of work.
Well, I think it's good for kids. Like I've got a dog now. And I wish my kids would play more Sims and realize what a responsibility it is, because they asked me for a dog and now I'm doing all the work.
Yeah.
I maybe that's the thing about Sims. It did teach you adulting.
Yes, in a very safe way. It wasn't like we grew up and realized, oh, this and this and this. But I think that's such a good point, Shani, because yes, we learned how to kind of adult, when we were young. We started thinking responsibilities. Yeah. That's a good point.
Do they have Sims tax? Because I could use that.
Well, there was taxes in SimCity.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So you had to decide on spending and how much you should tax the people.
Yeah, no, that's not the issue. It's the actual the submitting of tax. Yeah, I need a game to teach me how to do that. Or make it fun. Oh my word, I hate doing taxes.
The success of The Sims is a story about a game that has done something that not even bigger games like the juggernaut that is Minecraft was able to achieve. And that is a game anyone can play and enjoy. Kids, teens, moms, dads, grandmas, and their dogs. This wide of a demographic hasn't been seen since the heyday of Tetris. A small idea that literally started with ants to becoming one of the most innovative, original, and influential games of all time. The end.
Awesome. All right, cool. I enjoyed walking down memory lane.
Yeah, I did enjoy it too.
Take care, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.